Welcome to the advanced Google Sheets. So now that you're an expert in graphing and coloring and bordering and moving things around, there's a couple more fancy things we get to do. So in the last video, we talked about how to use the equation bar. So you can do the sum and average. That's going to allow you to do all kinds of fun stuff. So for example, there's monthly temperatures in Bali. We actually want to take the average between high and low. So now that I've calculated these averages up here, I can just do it again. I'm going to take the average and I highlight the two that I want. So the neat thing is that if I add in a ridiculous high, let's say it's like 100, what happens is that everything adjusts as I go down. And the low, let's say it's 10. Okay, this is now working on those two calculations. So you can do calculations upon calculations. I'm just going to change this so it all stays in there. So that's why I always have these little black boxes on the bottom. Okay, so as we move into the next phase, we are going to be working on that budget template. Remember, please keep these tabs at the very bottom nice and short. I know you can't see me, I'm doing all kinds of hand actions. So change the T-table one to data, change the other one to budget, and you can move these around, it doesn't matter what order they're in. So the big thing I want to talk about is how to link one set of data to another, and then how to calculate this cost per day or per trip. So what's going to happen here is we want to pull a specific range of data, okay? A specific range of data from, let's say, our airplane. This is why I had you highlight them. Excuse me. That highlighted cost is the one we want to link. Now we could just go in here and take 6,700, go back to the budget and type it in. But we actually want to create a dynamic link. All right. So the way we do that is we go to the cell where we want the data displayed, and we're going to hit equals. You see how I actually get like this little like question mark that shows me that I'm about to do something. So we're actually creating a bit of a link. Now I'm going to show you the hard way, and then I'm going to show you the easy way. All right. So first thing we're going to do here is that I actually want to go to the data table. Okay. So if you notice that it actually moves me there. So what I'm going to type in, see how that little line stays with me? I can type in data because that shows me I'm in this sheet. And the next thing we're going to do is a little bit of coding. We put in an exclamation point. When I put that exclamation point in, it's saying I'm about to get you a specific cell. And this one here is error. Let's try that again. Remember what it is? What do I start with? Equals. Then I type in the sheet I want to go to. And you'll notice that this sheet, the cell I'm looking for is I9. So when I go back here, I can type in data exclamation point I9. And then when I hit enter, it pulls that data over. Now, if I go back in here and change this, let's say I made a mistake. This was actually only 2,555. Okay, that's adjusted on that sheet. What do you think is going to happen on the other one? Bingo, it changes. So that's how we link them. Let's take another one. Do I have any other data in here? Monthly airplane costs. Accommodation. Let's do this accommodation one. So my monthly accommodation, my trip accommodation. Here, if I hit equals, okay, so I hit equals, and if I type in data here. The other thing we can do here, though, is that as soon as I hit equals, you see how it follows me? That cell is actually on the other side. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to click on my monthly accommodation. And you'll notice that it's actually filling that in. See, it says data exclamation point I. So it actually fills it in for me. So you can put the coding in on your own, or you can just type in the equal sign and then go to the cell you want to put in there and click it. The last thing you have to do is hit the enter button or return. So you can either type the coding in yourself or you can just go to the sheet and click it. All right, so that's how we link data. So this flight, the flight is obviously for my whole trip, but I also want you to calculate the cost per day. So the way we do this is we're going to use another equation. So remember, whenever doing equations, we always start with the cell we want the data to be stored in. So I want the cost per day to be in this row. I think you can see it with my yellow mouse there. So I'm going to go way up here to the functions again, and I'm going to hit sum. And you see it says sum, and I get a bracket. So now what I want to do is I want to take the value of the trip cost, and then in this case I'm going to divide this, so the backslash, by 14 days because it's a 14-day trip. Bingo. So this says $183. Let's try something. Let's go back to our original data, and let's make this 9,000, something really big. Changes my graph. Do you notice that? My graph changed. It changed. Here, I'll do that again. See the graph over here? It's at 6. If we move forward in time, it updates everything at the same time. My budget has updated. Oh, and look at that. Now my cost per day changes automatically. So that's the difference between just putting the numbers in and linking it. Let's look at my food, because this one here, this one is actually linked from another table. You can see up top here. It actually says data, so that's from I-79. For my trip cost, though, I want to do the opposite. That's really high. Let's go to I-79. Where is that? There's no way my food is that much. Oh, that's why. I put in a Kobe beef. Let's put $20. There we go, $111. That seems far more reasonable. Ah, there we go. So my average food cost is now $69. So in the one runner flight, we actually divided by, but this one we want to do the opposite. We want to multiply by the number of days. So I go to functions, hit sum, click on the one that I want it to calculate, and a multiply is going to be your asterisk on the computer. So I multiply that by 14. So it says the sum of C39, which is this number right here, times 14, which is the number of days. I hit enter. Now I've got it calculated. So those are the three main skills. I'll do one other one just so you know it. Cost per trip, other transportation. What do we start with? Equal sign. Good. I know you didn't say that out loud, but you could have. So I start with the equal sign, and then I go and find it. Where's my activities? I don't have any activities. So I'll just pick a number that I'm going to link it to. Let's use this one right here. So I pick it, see how it's highlighted. So this is telling me budget I or D41 is going to show the same data as this. I click it, bingo, there it is. How would I show my daily cost? Sum. Click on the one that I want to calculate from. And I want this one by day, so that total trip is for 14 days, backslash 14. And that's it. Last thing, if you have a lot of these decimals here, highlight it, and up at the top here, you're going to see formulas. I like to go to rounded currency. You can actually do that for your entire T-table. Okay, that's it. Hope that helps, and we'll see you next week.